On June 24, 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold claimed to have witnessed 9 shiny, unidentified flying objects swiftly passing Mount Rainier. Allegedly traveling at mind-boggling speeds he estimated to be at least 1,200 miles per hour. This incident became the first highly publicized post-World War II UFO sighting in the United States, capturing nationwide attention. It's often regarded as the dawn of the modern era of UFO sightings, sparking a series of reported sightings over the subsequent 2 to 3 weeks. Eventually, the Roswell UFO incident happened, and people still can't stop talking about it. Join us as we bring you the real truth behind the Roswell UFO incident and find out what really happened and how the official explanation for it might still be nothing but a smokescreen. Arnold's vivid description of the objects, described as flying in a formation, prompted the press to coin terms like flying saucer and flying disc, which quickly gained popularity as descriptive terms for UFOs. These terms became ingrained in popular culture and are still widely used all across the world today. On July 4, 1947, United Airlines Flight 105 reported sightings of multiple flying discs, adding to the growing number of UFO sightings during that period. This incident contributed to the increasing public interest in unidentified flying objects during that summer. During this early phase of UFO sightings, Americans tended to associate these flying saucers, or flying discs, with various explanations. Some speculated that these sightings might be linked to secret military projects, possibly experimental aircraft or technology developed post-World War II. Others suspected hoaxes or misidentifications of natural phenomena as potential explanations for the reported sightings. But the one thing that's been common throughout all of this is that there was no logical explanation for it, or at least a simple one. In mid-June, W. Mac Brazel stumbled upon debris scattered across several acres of his ranch in Roswell, New Mexico. Initially, Brazel didn't really think about the odd assortment of materials, which included tinfoil, rubber, tape, and thin wooden beams, as anything out of the ordinary. He gathered the debris and placed it under some brush with the intention of later disposing of it. It's important to note that Brazel, residing in a remote area, lacked access to modern communication tools such as a phone or radio. This isolation left him unaware of the widespread frenzy surrounding flying saucers or UFO sightings that had captured public attention during that period. Brazel's discovery of the debris and his subsequent actions of collecting and stashing it away initially seemed inconsequential to him, but it would end up being one of the biggest finds of the decade, if not all of history. On July 5, 2023, W. Mac Brazel made a trip into Corona, New Mexico, where he found locals discussing the ongoing stories and speculation about flying discs or flying saucers. This was the first time Brazel heard the buzz surrounding these mysterious aerial objects. Feeling super intrigued and possibly realizing a connection between what he discovered on his ranch and the flying disc stories, Brazel decided to do something about it. He transported some of the peculiar silvery debris he had gathered to the sheriff's office in Roswell. Sheriff George Wilcox, upon examining the material, deemed it significant enough to alert the Roswell Army Airfield about Brazel's discovery. The RADF assigned Major Jesse Marcel and Captain Sheridan Cavett to investigate the matter. Accompanied by Brazel, Marcel, and Cavett, went back to the debris site where they gathered more of the unusual material, seeking to unravel the nature and origin of this mysterious debris. But why did no one have the answers? What did they really have in their hands? Speaking of which, if you've ever wanted to hold the moon in your hands, check out the link in the description to get your very own moon. Coming back to the mysterious debris, though, the officials took all of it from Brazel and told him to keep quiet about it. By the end of that day, an unexpected turn occurred in the public narrative. Walter Haut, the public information officer for the Roswell Army Airfield, issued a press release, startling the public with the announcement that the military had indeed recovered a flying disc near Roswell. This declaration made the media attention so much worse. Robert Porter, an RADF flight engineer, was part of the crew responsible for loading what he had been told was a flying saucer onto the flight destined for Fort Worth. He described the material as lightweight and small enough to fit inside the trunk of a car when packaged in wrapping paper. That was strange, because we don't really have metals like that on Earth. So the strangeness of the materials made everyone even more interesting. Brazel estimated the balloon that held up the debris to be approximately 12 feet long, The rubber material he described was smoky gray in color and spread out over an area around 200 yards in diameter. When collected, the tinfoil, paper, tape, and sticks formed a bundle approximately 3 feet long and 7 or 8 inches thick. The rubber created another bundle measuring about 18 or 20 inches long and 8 inches thick. He estimated the entire thing to weigh roughly 5 pounds. George Walsh, the station director at Roswell radio station KSWS, became overwhelmed with an avalanche of phone calls after breaking the news and relaying it to the Associated Press. The lines were constantly buzzing with media inquiries and requests for more information. Despite his efforts, Walsh struggled to reach Sheriff Wilcox for additional details due to the overwhelming volume of incoming calls. He found himself in the eye of a global media storm, with reporters from all corners of the world seeking confirmation and elaboration on the astonishing news. Decades later, Lydia Sleppy, a teletype operator at Coat Station in Albuquerque, New Mexico, recalled her involvement in the media flurry surrounding the Roswell incident. She claimed to have been actively typing a story about the wreckage as directed by reporter Johnny McBoyle. However, their communications were abruptly halted by an incoming message ordering them to cease all transmissions. The world was already freaking out about what was going on, and this whole thing made it even worse. But suddenly, right after confirming everything, they flipped the entire story at a conference on July 8th. During this conference, the officials presented an alternative explanation, identifying the recovered material as pieces of a weather balloon, attempting to demystify the situation. Irving Newton, the weather officer, provided detailed information to reporters, explaining that similar radar targets were utilized at approximately 80 weather stations. These radar targets were typically attached to weather balloons, featuring a star-shaped reflective design. Newton elucidated that these balloons, upon launch, ascended to higher altitudes, expanding as they climbed before eventually bursting at approximately 60,000 feet. The authorities' attempt to attribute the debris to a weather balloon, along with the technical details provided by Irving Newton, aimed to calm the growing speculation and curiosity surrounding the recovered material. This explanation was offered in an effort to dampen the public's interest in the flying disc narrative and redirect attention towards a more mundane, conventional explanation involving weather-related equipment used by the military at that time. It was just a balloon, guys. Nothing to be scared of. They thought the public would take this announcement and roll with it, but that's not what happened. Despite this attempt to clarify, the Roswell incident has remained a topic of debate and fascination, with various theories and opinions continuing to circulate in popular culture and among UFO enthusiasts. At this point, there were two types of people. One side who believed what the officials were saying, and the other who believed the total opposite. The officials weren't telling the truth. Instead, they were trying to hide something. In 1981, The Globe, a tabloid, circulated stories suggesting the presence of bodies associated with the Roswell incident. Later in 1989, mortician Glenn Dennis recounted a story about a nurse who allegedly participated in an alien autopsy in response to an episode of Unsolved Mysteries discussing the Roswell bodies. During the late 1970s through the early 1990s, prominent UFO researchers like Stanton T. Friedman, William Moore, Carl T. Flock, Kevin D. Randall, and Donald R. Schmidt interviewed a bunch of people who claimed connections to the Roswell events of 1947. These interviews further added layers to the narrative, shaping the evolving Roswell incident mythology. Initially declared as a weather balloon, the debris near Roswell was later revealed to be associated with Project Mogul, a classified operation involving high-altitude balloon flights for atomic surveillance. The military's explanation aimed to dismiss the flying disc speculation by attributing the debris to this top-secret project. Retired Brigadier General Thomas DuBose supported Major Jesse Marcel's claims that the weather balloon explanation was a cover story, corroborating that the debris wasn't a mere weather balloon, yet both consistently denied any existence of bodies associated with the incident. Instead, he claimed that the bodies were actually just dummies used with the weather balloons as test subjects. So seeing them charred might have given the appearance of alien bodies, when they were just part of the government's plan. Many believe these explanations, while others think it's too suspicious for the authorities to constantly be changing up their story. Why did they announce the crash site in the first place, if they knew exactly what was found? Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.